Hi. Before going to video, please subscribe to my channel for more interesting stuff. Story from r/paranormal. Posted by u/sh4s. The girl in the photo wasn't me. Before I get into the story, I just want to make clear that I do not have the photo anymore. It was on an old phone that ended up smashed and unusable. I'm aware this makes my story seem less believable, but this story is 100% true. So, when I was about 11 or 12 I had a BlackBerry phone. It didn't have a front camera, so I was in my room taking selfies with the back camera, as you do. For this reason, I couldn't see exactly what I was photographing. I took the photo, turned my phone around and saw some random girl. The top half of the photo was blacked out, but below the random black block across the screen, I could see the nose and below of a girl. She was in my room. She had long, curly, brunette hair. Mine was short and blonde. She was smiling with a perfect set of teeth. I had braces at this time. It's like I wasn't in the room at all. There is just no way that girl in the photo was me. About 3 years prior to this experience I woke up one morning and saw a girl sat on the chair in my room, staring at herself in the mirror. She had brunette hair but it was short. Is there any way that could have been the same girl? Anyway, I'm interested to know if this has happened to anyone else. Luckily I don't live in that house anymore. I had loads more weird experiences there that kept me up at night.
Story from r/paranormal. Posted by u/Andrew Black. Ghost in the Gallery, Savannah, Georgia. My wife had a pretty bizarre experience while we were living in Savannah, Georgia. She was running an art gallery in one of the big hotels in the historic district. She has never really been a believer but had told me about a feeling she would get from time to time while sitting at her desk, as if someone was standing behind her. One morning, she was called into the security office to view a video from the night before. Unfortunately I never had the chance to see the video for myself, but she told me that she clearly saw what looked like a white figure, sometimes just what appeared to be legs, walking around one of the jewelry cases stopping right behind her desk chair. She and the security officer tried to find a rational explanation for what they were viewing, headlights from passing cars, etc., but nothing seemed to fit. I had plenty of experiences of my own while living in Savannah as I ran a bar downtown for about 5 years, but nothing compared to what she saw on that video. Something kept knocking on the balcony door. Okay, I've had 3 whole months of experiencing creepy shit when I moved to the province about 4 to 5 years ago. The post would be too long if I wrote everything down, so I wanted to start with this specific topic first. Backstory: I just had graduated from college that time. I visited my best friend Erin, who was just 2 hours away via Roro ship for her son's birthday. Funny thing, a big family fight happened, we got kicked out, and stayed at some hotel while searching for an apartment. We found a house near the beach and immediately rented it. It was a quiet village, and the house was 5 minutes away from the village gate, but located at the very back. We were staying on the 2nd floor. The 1st floor was an open space for parking and had a garden. There were stairs outside you'd have to take to go up into the house. I noticed each time I entered the village, I would smell a scent similar to a frangipani flower. It was sweet and delicate, but it felt like it was always right under my nose. What surprises me is that I have never seen that tree around the village. I didn't mind it so much until my best friend started bringing it up, saying how it disturbed her. The funny part was even at work, I eventually found work to help with the expenses. A few people would mention my perfume even when I don't use one. Now for the real story. I was lying on bed getting ready to sleep when Erin's 10-year-old sister Anna approached me with a frightened look on her face. Anna, there's someone knocking in the balcony door. Me, is some stuck outside? Anna, no. I'm scared. I'm a little pissed, confused but also concerned. So I get my ass up and go to the balcony door. I start smelling that floral scent again. Now our balcony door from the inside has a wooden door, then on the outside a screen door. I start assuming that maybe Erin is stuck outside, so I yell through the door, "Erin, are you stuck outside?" I hear my best friend's voice from the bathroom saying she's taking a shower. Right after I hear 3 knocks from the door. Anna starts hiding behind my back and I'm pretty creeped out myself. Then I start yelling, "Who's there?" Then another 3 knocks on the door. So I'm proper pissed that no one is answering and I start to yell that it's not funny. Then whoever/whatever is outside starts knocking frantically. Me and Anna scream and are freaking out. We ran to the bathroom to tell Erin that someone is knocking outside. Now, you may think we're overreacting, but the balcony has no trees strong enough for someone to climb to that level. Nor are the trees near enough. We also have a tall gate with tall walls surrounding the place. Okay, so Erin steps out of the shower sopping wet and annoyed. We tell her what happens and she looks at us like we're the dumbest people alive. She proceeds to the door and asks who's there. Then the knocking happens again. Midway through the knocking, Aaron unlocks and opens the door impressively quick. The screen door after the wooden door is locked from the inside, making us wonder how the hell can someone knock on the wooden door. We open the screen door to further check, and no one's outside. I ran downstairs to check for anyone. Maybe someone jumped off or is trying to escape. Analyzing the place, trying to convince myself that there's some sick person trying to pull a prank. I go back up and tell Aaron there's no one. I slowly retreat to my room where Aaron's 2-year-old son is playing with the house help B. Then B looks at me dead in the eye and says, "You let it in." Story from r/paranormal. Posted by u/shesh373. I've seen the Hat Man, orb and unexplained lights in the graveyard near my husband's house. A couple of months of settling into my husband's childhood residence, we decided to set up a cost-friendly aka cheap security camera W/night vision for the front and backyard yard. We hooked it up to a small TV monitor, but we couldn't set it up record for the times when we weren't home. His house was built on a hillside in awkward direction with our driveway aka dirt road leads to the right side of his house. His aunt's property is to the right rear of us and the church property is to the right of her property. The graveyard area actually adjoins to his aunt's property, then follows the fellowship hall and then church house. All those property lines to the rear of us are acres and acres of tall pine trees and other hardwood trees and thicket. His backyard is actually higher than our front porch. His yard had so many huge trees along the driveway that give good shade. Sorry if that took a while to describe the property setup. Well, sort of. One day nearing dusk time, he had his flatbed truck in the backyard to work on a rear tire. He had our 16-year-old son helping out and one of his cousins that was a regular visitor also, in the back helping. I was inside the house with another one of his cousins. We were folding/sorting clothes and just talking about whatever. At this time we were talking, we both happened to glance at the security monitor at the same time. My jaw dropped and my heart skipped a beat. There, standing up the hill under a large oak tree on the property line, was a very large black shadow of a man wearing some sort of hat and big long coat/jacket. It reminded me of the character on Jeepers Creepers, the hat and jacket it wears minus the wings. The outline was similar but there were no features, only total darkness. It was standing in a way that it was above my husband, who was teaching our son how to change the rear tire. It was standing there so still, looking down at them, watching them. The guys in the backyard didn't seem to be affected by its presence, as if they didn't notice it. It sent chills up my spine. The moment was only for a few seconds, but it also felt like forever. His cousin and I looked at each other in shock, asking in disbelief if we just seen the same thing. When we looked back at the monitor, it had disappeared, in the blink of an eye. No sign or trace of the huge black shadow that was just standing there. That was my first experience at his house. We didn't have our little girl yet, so it was just me, my husband and our son that lived there during this experience. I had never heard of the Hat Man prior to this experience. I've seen shadows moving from the corner of my eye, and when I was a kid I'd hear my name being called when there wasn't anyone around. I've seen another shadow figure a few years later, 2015, inside my home. I thought it was my husband walking by the doorway cause it was tall like him. 6. It wisps by so quick, I walked out of the room to talk to him, expecting him to be up on his feet. Instead he was kicked back on his recliner snoring away. That was a creeper. It was in the middle of the night. I'm sort of a low-key insomniac, but after that I took my butt to bed. I tried not to panic, but my heart sank when I seen my hubby laying there sleeping. I told myself it might have been a mutual friend of ours that passed away in 2008, a day before my birthday. We were actually the ones to find her unresponsive and called 911. It felt unreal yet traumatic at once. I'm sorry this story seems so long just to talk about a short experiences. Lol. Plus, I kept trying to edit. I'm not a writer or anything close. Please bear with me. A separate time after dark, we noticed a orb on the security camera for our front porch. My husband and I were sitting in the living room watching TV with the security monitor placed on top of it, and so we noticed a orb floating around the front porch area. Then it moved to the living room window. It was as if it was looking inside of the house. We couldn't see any orb with our own eyes while looking through the window. It only appeared on the security monitor. The experience lasted a few minutes. It reminded me of how our dogs would come and stand up with their front paws up on the window frame to see inside of the house. One of our pets passed away and was buried on the property. I told myself it was probably the pet's spirit. My husband and I agreed that was very weird. Sorry, but we never figured out how to make it record any footage. Another time, I was up late watching TV in the living room all alone. My husband, baby and son are all asleep. It was about 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. This time the backyard security camera was showing a single flashing light off towards the direction of the graveyard. His aunt's house was vacant at this point, so there were no lights or electric on at her house. Her house wasn't visible on the camera, the only view was across her front yard and of her driveway into the direction of the church property. There was that light just constantly flashing off and on. It looked like a bright flashlight. I recorded it for a little while with my phone because I couldn't believe it and needed to have proof for my husband. It went on for a long time. I questioned why someone would choose to sit out there flashing a light towards our house. It still doesn't make sense to me. Just another file for the weird experiences. On the same night, the kitchen light got flipped on then flipped back off. I took that as a sign I needed to go to bed. That was a little bit too freak at that point. No lie, I was legitimately petrified. I probably power walked to my bedroom. Story from r/paranormal. Posted by u/Midandy, Unnerving Kitchen Ghost. Although I've only had about 3 paranormal experiences, they've all had to do with the kitchen area of my old house. For you to fully understand what's going on, I think it's important that I give a bit of a layout. My kitchen is on the 2nd floor and it's connected to my living room. It's not an open concept, but there is an open doorway and a large rectangular opening in the wall so you can see into the kitchen from the living room. Connected to the living room was another room which we called the computer room, and you cannot see the kitchen from this room. My kitchen also has a back door that has a downward flight of stairs. It leads to a mini hallway that connects to doors to the basement, backyard, and the 1st floor apartment. Anyway, my first experience happened when I was in the computer room. My brother was also with me. Now at the time, my aunt and cousin lived on the 1st floor. However, they didn't really get along with my mom at the time, so we kept the back door locked for privacy reasons. We only went downstairs to do laundry in the basement or to take the dog outside. At the time, my uncle had recently moved into our basement. There's no kitchen or bathroom in the basement, so he'd have to come up to the 2nd floor to use ours. While me and my brother were talking in the computer room, we started to hear loud knocking at the back door. Pounding even. My brother and I both assumed that one of us had locked the door out of habit and that our uncle was trying to get in to use the bathroom or something. I stayed at the desk while my brother went to go open it. My brother came back not too long after, looking visibly shook. I asked him what was wrong and he said when he opened the door no one was there. He also said that our uncle was already in the shower as well. Again, my aunt and mom didn't get along, so they usually never came up the back stairs. I also wanna add that my house is old, and those back stairs are steep. There's no way anyone can go up or down those stairs without them squeaking every step. My second experience is what actually made me start avoiding my kitchen. I was cooking in my kitchen. It was daytime. Yes, broad daylight. My stove is about 2 feet from my back door. I suddenly heard someone pounding on the door. Now again, I can see the door, it's practically right next to me, and I noticed that the door is already unlocked. At the time, I did think that it was strange that someone can knock on a door that forcefully, but they can't open the doorknob with that same free hand. Instead of being instantly terrified by this realization, I instead assumed, oh, they're probably carrying laundry up and their hands are full, so they need me to open it. So without any fear in me at this point, I called out, "It's unlocked," just so I could get confirmation that what I was thinking was true. I didn't get a reply. I stood there for a second waiting for a response and instead got another loud pounding on the door. Thinking that I'm probably pissing off one of my relatives at this point, I just walk over and swing it open. No one. Nothing. I was instantly horrified. No way can someone be pounding at the door and then make it down the stairs either without making any noise or even that fast. I turned off the stove and just went upstairs to my bedroom. I didn't feel alone. My last experience is going to sound cliché, as I always found it cliché when I saw it happen in movies or fake poltergeist activity videos. But one day I came down from my bedroom to go to the bathroom or whatever. Like I said earlier, my kitchen is connected to my living room and I was coming from a hallway on the opposite end. I peered into the living room and at the same time into the kitchen too. My heart sank. I felt fear fill me. The living room was untouched, but the kitchen was in a strange disarray. Everything was open in a sense. The oven door, the microwave door, the pantry door, the bathroom door, the back door, leading to the basement. Some chairs were pulled out from the table, which we rarely actually sat at to eat. Cabinets above and below the sink were open. The medicine cabinet was open, etc. It looked like someone was searching for something, but even if they were, it doesn't make sense to look in all the places that had been affected. Something felt really off. No one in my house would leave the kitchen looking like this, and no one was home except me and my brother at the time. After seeing this from just the hallway, I decided to go back upstairs. I told my brother what I saw. He kinda shrugged it off and I just went back into my room and decided I'd go downstairs when my mom got home so I felt safer. My brother ended up wanting to do downstairs for something too and decided to go. He came back up a few seconds later seeing what I did. He felt really unnerved as well. So we both stayed upstairs until my mom got home. Nothing else has really happened to me other from that, and I no longer go to that house due to a shitty relationship with my family. I know these stories aren't that scary, but honestly, having a door be pounding right in front of you and then to open it and see no one, especially in your own home, is really scary.
Thanks for watching. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe for more videos.